In this video, we are going to look at computation and interpretation of what's called effective annual yield on the investment. So first of all, it's not going to matter whether the investment is 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, doesn't matter because we're just looking at a 1 year time period for the effective annual yield. And what we're doing is we're saying, okay, I have a choice. I either gonna invest in an account that has 5% compounded semi-annually, or I'm gonna invest in a simple interest account. And what I'm trying to do is I can't really directly compare the two rates. So for example, in simple interest, maybe I'm getting 5.1%. But in this particular account, I'm getting only 5%. So if you look at it, you would say, well, the simple interest has got to be better, right? Because it has a bigger rate. But it's like comparing apples and oranges. It's not the same thing because here they compound the interest twice a year. So your interest is earning interest. So you are getting a little bit more. So you need to know what it is that you are comparing, right? So it's not fair to compare the what's called the nominal rate in compound interest to the corresponding simple interest rate. Okay, so how do you compute it? Now, in my worksheet, you can use the future value worksheet or the present value worksheet. I actually compute it for you. So let me show you how to do that. So let's say it's 5% compounded semi-annually. So you're just going to change the rate to 5%. And you do not care about the years. You can leave them as whatever they are. You just want to make sure that your number of compounding in periods is correct, corresponding to whatever it says here. Well, here it says semi-annually, so that's twice a year. Okay, so then you would change this to 2. And then the effective interest rate, I'm printing it right here. So it's actually 5.06%. So this rate, 5% compounded semi-annually, is equivalent to the simple interest rate of 5.06. So actually, if somebody offered you 5.1 simple interest, that would have been better because this one effective annual yield is 5.06, which is smaller than 5.1. Okay, now let's take a look at this one. So this one's saying, okay, I'm offering you 5.9% rate compounded weekly. So what happens with that? So, okay, so let's go back over here. Now we're going to use 5.9 for the annual rate. But because it's compounded weekly, that's 52. Okay, and so that will correspond to 6.07%. Which means that this rate, 5.9% compounded weekly, is the same thing as getting 6.07% simple interest. So again, if somebody said, well, how about 6% simple interest? You would be saying, no, this one's better. Even though it looks like 5.9 is smaller than 6, but because it's compounded weekly, you are actually getting a little bit larger than 6. So annual yields can be directly compared as opposed to the what's called the nominal rates that cannot be directly compared because the number of compoundings is not the same.